this part here. Bring me back so that they can see me here. We'll start with the grade 10. Okay, put it like this. Yeah. Okay. Hi guys, CK Math Wiz. I'm back again with another video. On this video, I'm just doing a simple thing. I'm reviewing these two question papers for grade 10 2026 June exams. So it was maths. They were writing on the 12th of June, as you can see there at the top there. If you can look at the top there, you can simply see it was 12th June 2026. So these were two question papers they were writing. This was paper 1, you can see 2026 here, and also we have our paper 2 here. So I'm just gonna try and put that back. Yeah. So now I want us to play around these so that let me see when I write. Oh, I don't know what's happening with this camera now. Always on top on. Yeah. Think it's gonna be fine now. Yeah, it's gonna be fine now. So I want us to break them down. These two question papers, you can see it was Eastern Cape Department of Education, Buffalo City Metro District. It's a district I'm working under currently as a high school teacher, obviously, teaching in a private school. I'm teaching in a private school. Grade 10 as well as grade 11. For now, I'm not teaching matric, but I'll be teaching matric. Surely, high possibilities, maybe next year. Understand? I'm not quite sure, by the way, but yeah, that's what might happen. So here, as I was saying, we'll break these down. Now, when breaking them down, what do I mean? Breaking down these question papers, it's simply now going through each and every question and showing you how to answer questions and how to go through questions, understand, for you to also avoid this thing of panicking and all that. You need to be trained on obviously answering questions, because honestly, questions in an exam are not asked as the same as your classwork as well as your homework, not unless maybe your teacher is using question papers to give you classworks as well as homeworks. Then that way, then you're gonna be used to obviously answering questions from your question papers. So we'll go through paper 1 grade 10 as well as paper 2 grade 10. I'm gonna come up with another video on grade 11. I'm gonna add grade 10 maths literacy. I'm gonna add grade 10 maths literacy paper 1 and paper 2 after I'm done with grade 11 paper 1 as well as paper 2. Remember, as I said, I'm breaking them down. I'm not going to go through everything like deeply, understand? But I'll explain there and there what is it that they wanted from you. So we'll try to make this video short. I don't want to make this video very long so that you guys can understand what is it exactly we are talking about when we are specifically focused on breaking down questions, so you understand how to tackle questions. Now let's check. This question paper was out of 75 marks. It took 1 hour 30 minutes for you to finish this question paper. Imagine that was 75 marks, right? 1 hour 30 minutes. It was fair. It was fair, honestly, based on the level of difficulty of this question paper. It was fair to say it's 1 hour 30 minutes for a grade 10, 75 marks. Because obviously in grade 12 you'll be doing I think it's 100 or 150. I forgot in maths. I think it's 150 there. It's just gonna be 3 hours, understand? So it's still fair. But yeah, let's look at question 1. Question 1, the topic here on both question 1 as well as question 2. So if you look at these two questions, I don't want to rush it. No? If you look at these two questions, the focus here it was the first one. It's the number systems. That's our first question. It was number systems. Then when you look at your question 2, you have your algebraic. You have your algebraic expressions. We have expressions there. We have our algebraic expressions. We have exponents. We have exponents there, right? So now let's check. We have algebraic expressions as well as exponents. So you can simply see question 1 as well as question 2, they were covering 3 questions. They were covering number systems, they were covering algebraic expressions as well as your exponents. So now what is it that makes me to just say I'm focusing on number systems on question 1? When you look at question 1, looking at these values here, these values are our integers. Understand? They start from negative infinity to positive infinity. Those are our integers, right? We call them integers just by looking at that set of numbers there, a set of x values there. It's just integers of which now you are supposed to substitute them there, or whatever that you're supposed to do there in order for you to solve these 3 questions there. Okay, now I just want to remove those. Let's see now. You can simply see as I've broke that one down, it's 3 topics here: number systems, algebraic expressions, as well as exponents on your question 1 as well as question 2. You look at the marks. It was 9 marks here. Then on your question 2, is it 20? 9, 10, 11, 12, yeah, it was 20 here, then as well as 9. So meaning that your question 1 and question 2, they were giving you 29. Imagine 29 over already 75 marks, right? Now let's see. On 1.1.1 here, they said you are looking for, okay, so if P is this, right? Our P is that, and our X set of X values there, it's these ones. For which values of X will P be undefined? So we are saying P is this, right? So meaning that, as we said, P is that one. Yeah? So if that is P, for which X values will P be undefined? So when we're looking at these X values here, for which values, if we take those values, we put them here on X, because this, remember, it's a set of X values. When we take this set of X values, substituting them there on our, substituting them here on our P, then which ones are going to give us P as undefined, right? So what we are doing here, we're taking -3, we put it here on X, right? So we are looking for those values here. I'm not going to break it down, as I said, but you are going to take your -3, you put it here on X, you put it in your calculator as it is, everything there. You want to check which values between these values are going to give you a P as undefined. So meaning that when you punch everything here and on X, you open your bracket, you put your -3, -1, 0, 1, and 2. You want to tick which values gave you an undefined. Then you are going to write that value here on 1.1, right? Then you are going to move to your 1.1.2 here on unreal. Now, on unreal, you need to know what is it that we're talking about when we're talking about undefined. What is it we're talking about when we're talking about unreal, and what is it that we're talking about when we're talking about irrational, right? Now, undefined, we know that if we put something on a calculator and it gives us something in the form of an error or math error or whatnot, understand? So we take it as, obviously, it's undefined. It cannot be defined. So as long as we put those values, either -3, -1, 0, 1, or 2, any of those values, when we put them there and they give us undefined or they're giving us math error, then we are going to take those values as values that are giving us undefined. So we're going to take that P as the values of X which are giving us that undefined. I don't know if it's clear, but I want you to try and check You understand? Then when looking at 1.1.2 now, it was focusing mainly on undefined values now, or unreal values. Unreal values. I remember when we were also talking about what the nature of roots. When we are speaking of unreal values, we're speaking of values that less than 0, right? So we're speaking of values that less than 0, which when we put them there, they will cause that to be unreal. So you will put -3, -1, 0, 1, and 2 where you see the value of x. Then you want to check the one that is going to give you an unreal value of p. Understand? Then surely since it was 1 mark, then you can just put one value there. Then for irrational, we want to look for the one that is just going to give us the value of p as an irrational number immediately when we substitute the value of x with one of these values here. So I hope you do understand that one. That one was basic. You get your 4 marks, you are done. Now, I want to move to this one. This one, it's a question, for example, in grade 10, most learners, they tend to take this one light mostly. Understand? Why am I saying that? Simply because if you're supposed to express a recurring number in terms of a proper fraction, mostly they take that light. Understand? And of which now you can forget that kind of a question, honestly. And that kind of a question, it's a question whereby you won't be told that it's just going to be there. But when you're doing mathematics, you are supposed to know all these things, understand? So that immediately you're given a test, you are able to solve that, you pass that, understand? I'm just gonna make an example with you on this problem you were given here. Now, this is where now we must understand those two dots, the ones that are on top of 0 there, 0 as well as 2. They simply mean that that value, it's x, which is 0, 0, 2. Now, if 0 and 2, both of them, they have dots, then it simply means they keep on repeating. They keep on repeating, just like that. Understand? They keep on repeating. That's simple. That's what you're supposed to do. That's all. But now you want to check how many values are repeating after the comma now. If there are 2, those values are represented by 2 zeros. And you want to check from 10, from 10, 100, 1000, 10,000, 100,000. You want to check which one has 2 zeros. The one that has 2 zeros, it's going to be hundreds, right? So what you're going to do here, you're going to multiply both sides by that 100. Why? Simply because you have 2 values that are recurring. Then obviously when you multiply x with 100, you get your 100x. Then when you multiply this one with 100, you'll get, I'm not quite sure whether is it going to be 0, let me check first. Sorry about that, guys. Let's see very fast. If we multiply 100 by that 0, 02, 02, 02, 02, going to get 2, yes, 2, 2,020,202. That's what we're going to get, right? Now from here, remember you heard how we deal with it when it comes to the dots, right? You check the dots, how many numbers are recurring. Then that is when you're going to find that if there are 2 numbers that are recurring, you know, from 1, 10, 100, 1,000, 10,000, about just like that. If there are 2 numbers that are recurring, you can see it's here. Why? Because there are 2 zeros. If there's one number that is recurring, it's going to be here. Why? Because there's 1 0. If there are 3 numbers that are recurring, then it's going to be 1,000. Why? Because there are 3 zeros there. Understand? Now, from here, you're just going to say, okay, this second one must subtract that first one. So 100 x minus x is equals to 2,02,02,02 minus 0,02,02,02, right? Then you're going to get obviously 99 what x there, which is equals to 2 minus 0, it's 2, that one minus that one. I think we're just gonna get 2 then. 2 minus that one, it's just going to be 2. but I need to check something here. If now I get, okay, let me use this. If I get 2 divided by 99, yes, I get 0.0202. Then you divide both sides by 99, divide by 99. Then this cancels, then your x is going to be 2 over 99. I want you to look at this term here. It says proper fraction. And you must know that your proper fraction, what does proper fraction mean? It simply means numerator must be less than the denominator. If it's improper, it's supposed to be 99 over 2. The numerator must be bigger than the denominator if it's improper. But since it's proper fraction, then it's correct for us to get 2 over 99. Can you see, even those things, you must not forget them. You did them back in grade 8 as well as grade 9. So if you're just going to forget those things, then you'll keep on making basic mistakes that you won't even understand why is it exactly you are doing those mistakes. Now, I want us to move to this one. 1.3, between which two consecutive integers does square root of 63 lie? This one you just write square root of 63. I want you to think of, obviously, the number that follows 63. What's that number? It's 64. After 64, what do we get? 65. After 65, what do we get? 66, right? Okay. Before 63, what do we get? 62. Before 62, we get 61. We get 60. We get 59, we get 54, we get 53, 52, 51, 40, then you end up coming across 49. I want you to see something. Remember 63 is here, right? Can you see this square root you have here? All these square root. Remember they said which two consecutive integers? Yeah? Square root of 64 is not an integer. But the integer can be, square root of 64, it's 8, right? So the integer is 8. Eh? So immediately if you see that 64 already is here, then you get that integer. Then you take that integer because 63 is in between this 8 and you check now. Square root of 62, can it give you an integer? No, this one cannot give you an integer. This one cannot, this one cannot, this one cannot, this one cannot, this one cannot. But 49 is the one that when you check 49, when you check the square root of 49, you're gonna get 7, right? And 7 is an integer, so meaning that this square root of 63 is in between 7 and 8 as your integers. Then you're just going to get it at 2 marks. Can you see? It was basic, even that one. But if you guys don't understand something, don't worry. You just need to throw a comment on the section below. Then I'm just going to attend to that. Yeah. Now, let's look at question 2. Question 2, when looking at this problem here, you are given 10 to an exponent of 2x plus 3 times 4 to an exponent of 1 minus x, then over 25 to an exponent of 2 plus x. There, at all times, you're supposed to change your basis. Now, remember, when we are looking at an exponent, if we have a to an exponent of x, a is going to be our base, x is our exponent, then everything is what we call a power. Né? So now, if you see there that we are given 10 to an exponent of 2x plus 3 times 4 to an exponent of 1 minus x all over 25 to an exponent of 2 plus x. So then you are changing this 10, this 4, as well as this 25 to prime factors. How do you do that? You can even use a simple method. You're using your calculator where you're just going to punch. If it's 10, you're going to punch 10 equals to, then you press 10, you press shift, you press your fact. Then it's just going to give you, calculator will give you 2 times 5. Then you close your bracket. You put back that 2x plus 3 multiplied by the 4. Calculator will change it to 2 squared 1 minus x over your 25. Calculator will change it to 5 squared to an exponent of 2 plus x, right? Then you break it down. Then you're just going to separate the exponents. Then you do that. You're just going to practice that kind. It's basic. As long as I give you the approach, you know that you keep on repeating the same thing over and over again. Understand? It's just going to be basic in that manner. Then now we come across 2.2.2, where this one is testing you if you do understand how to add fractions, how to subtract fractions, and how to multiply fractions, how to divide fractions. This is to test you on that basic thing. In grade 8, you did 1 over 2 plus 3 over 4 minus 2 over 6. If you cannot do this, how do you expect to be able to solve that? But you're doing pure math. At some point, remember, pure math is something that must be something that you can see that, man, I'm good at this thing. I have all the basics I acquired from grade 8, grade 7, grade 9. Understand? So immediately you see that you have all those basics like this thing here. Then you know that, okay, you understood those things, you can see those things. Then you can jump from network to pure network. Now you decide that based on variables here, as you can see, right? But now this one combines this basic concept here, as well as the expressions where you're supposed to factorize. Now, when you factorize this denominator, it will be these are going to be your factors, right? So that now you know that you are looking for LCD and all that, then you add as well as subtract those fractions. If you also want me to break it down, just gonna break those problems down a bit by bit, right? 2.1.3, x plus y multiplied by x squared minus xy plus y squared, then multiplied by this one. Here you just do your FOIL, you simplify those, then you are done. I hope you do understand that one. Then here you are supposed to factorize the expression fully. X squared minus 4. Obviously, this is just two brackets here. You put your x, you put your x here, you put your 2, you put your 2, you have minus n plus, so that you can get x squared minus 4. Here again, it's your difference of two squares, since you have that 2 there as well as that 1 there, and you can see that we have no like terms there. Then on 2.2.3, we start by comparing all these three terms. We check if we have something that is common. If we do not have anything that is common and we have 4 terms, then we know for a fact that we must use grouping there. We must use grouping. Then here we see there's 3 there and this 27 is a cubic number. Then we use the difference of 2 cubes. We use the difference of 2 cubes, then we're going to be fine on that. Can you see I was breaking down question 1 and question 2. We're going to continue this video on with all part 2, understand? Because it's going to be long if I keep on breaking it down, even 2 questions, but you can simply see question 2, question 3, we had our solve for x here, we had our solve for x, and here we had our inequalities. Then we just had here our simultaneous as it's written there. Here's the term simultaneous equations. As you can see, this one and this one, they're basic, the ones that we're given here. But yeah, we just broke down question 1, question 2, as well as question 3. We have those few concepts of which is algebra. Then you can simply see here we have 16 marks, so meaning that when you were supposed to get 16 plus 20 plus what? Plus 9. Plus 9. Understand? So once you have this, it's over, at least it's over 75 already before you even jump to your functions. And your function is just the last question so that you can get your 75. But let's also review your functions. If over 75 you already have those marks. This one here, by the way, my learner confused this as well as the parable. I don't know how was it possible, but most of them, for example, here when you're supposed to sketch triangles in the axis and asymptote, It's even telling them that they are asymptotes here. But instead they are throwing a parabola. They know very well that the parabola doesn't have asymptotes, but at some point when a learner is panicking and writing a test, answers sometimes they leave. And this is one main factor which emphasizes on do not panic, because you lose even simple thing like asymptotes. You know for a fact that there are two graphs that have asymptotes. It's exponential as well as hyperbola. And so you must at the same time you know that as long as you have that x there to an exponent of 1, that is an hyperbola. Understand? Then we answer all these questions, we move to this one. Here they're combining straight line as well as hyperbola. We just need to also attend to this in the basic manner. You guys are going to me review this question paper and tell me which question was challenging so that we go deep to that question. For now, thank you so much, guys. I'll see you on